What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After, Season 8, Episode 16, The Emperor's New Home. So let's get right into the couple of the hour, or the couple of the 2 hours, Michael and Angela. So it's the day after they made up, when they were snuggling up in bed after he apologized to her and told her everything that she wanted to hear. And so she felt better about everything and allowed him to come into the bed with her. So it's the morning after that. So Angela says that she still needs to rebuild her trust in Michael. And he admits that what he did was wrong because he has lied to her in the past. So he says all of this is his fault. He's taking the blame for everything like he always does because he has to keep her happy because he still has to come to America. So the way that I feel about that is that he's the one that's always apologizing. She never apologizes for anything that she does. She never apologizes for misconstruing information, misunderstanding information, going too hard on him, overreacting, being overly dramatic about certain things, her threats to pull the application, the visa application, all these things, these horrible things that she does to him, throwing things. She hardly ever apologizes. I can't really say that she's never apologized because I can't really remember every single incident, but it seems like he's the one that does the majority of the apologies when she's the one that does the majority of the wrongdoing. Now, keep in mind, I do believe that Michael is scamming her because I fail to believe that he is truly interested in this woman. Like he's really trying to make a life with this woman, unless he's got what is it, like Stockholm syndrome, where you become like you start developing feelings for your captor, or you start developing feelings for your abuser. Maybe that's what's going on here if he ends up going back to Angela and staying with Angela. But up until this point, I don't believe that Michael is really interested in her romantically. I think he does whatever he needs to do to get that visa. So, like I said, he apologized for everything. So everything was his fault. Angela said that she is going to remain wherever they're at, the Ivory Coast. She's going to go ahead and stay with him until they hear back from the embassy, and that she's not going to pull the visa, right? So she tells him that one of the things that she wants him to do to help her rebuild her trust in him is she wants him to get rid of that chat group. So he's like, okay, babe, done. After that, the next time that we see Angela, she's walking through the airport talking about her relationship with Michael and broken promises and how she's got to trust him again, etc. And as she's walking through the airport, they want us to think that she's by herself, but all of a sudden the camera pans out and we see Mr. Michael walking right along with her. So they have landed in the United States. They are in Georgia. So after 7 long, overly dramatic years, 7 long, abusive years, Michael has finally landed in the United States of America. He has on his American jacket. He is so happy to be in the States with his lady love. He doesn't know what to do with himself. So they are on their way. They're driving to her house. And on the way there, he's just taking in the sights. It's at night, so everything is like, dark outside. But he notices all the lights. He notices how smooth the roads are. And she says to him, well, you're going to be, in the same room that I would video chat with you. Or aren't you excited about that? So they're very super excited about, finally being together in America. Now, Angela is concerned with how Skyla is going to receive Michael. Now, she's not worried about her grandkids. She says her grandkids are looking forward to seeing Pawpaw. They can't wait to meet him, that they already love him so much. So she's not worried about her grandkids. She's worried about her daughter, Skyla. So when they get to the house, she actually tells him to wait a while in the car while she goes inside. Evidently, she's going to, I don't know what she's going to do, but it looks like from the clip that they showed us for next week, she's going to make it look like he didn't get his visa or he didn't make it to America or something, and let Skylar say all of her negativity. And then she's going to surprise them with Michael showing up at the door. I think that's what it looked like to me. I could be wrong. But the bottom line is, They're here. They're in America. I'm just really curious to see if we're going to get anything on this show regarding the reasons why he ran away. If we were going to get that far, of the moment, the time that he ended up running away from her, and he left his phone and his passport and everything behind because he was so desperate to leave that residence because his life was in danger. I wonder if we're going to get any of that either during the season or at the tell all. But whatever. He's here. He's happy. She's happy. And the abuse shall go on. Now let's get into Lauren and Alex. So there's a lot of tension between Lauren and Alex ever since their last fight, when Alex was like, I'm gonna need you to help around a little bit around the house. And she acted like she couldn't do anything, that whatever that she was doing up until that point was way too much, and that the doctor had reprimanded her for doing anything at all around the house, and that the doctor had told her, you need to just take it easy. So whatever you've been doing, you need to stop because you're delaying your recovery. And Alex did not want to hear that. Alex was like, you can do something. Okay, I'm not expecting you to mop the floors and clean the windows, but while you're laying in this damn bed, you can fold some clothes, you can do something. So there's a lot of tension between them. And so she wants to plan a date night for her and Alex to kind of reconnect and blah blah blah. And so she's out with her friend looking for a dress for their date night. And Lauren looks 100% back to normal. I swear to God, y'all, I don't see any difference. I don't even see remnants of a scar or anything on her. She looks exactly the way she did before this so-called surgery. I'm beginning to wonder if she even had surgery, y'all. I'm beginning to wonder because the way that she was bandaged up when she came out of the hospital, I mean, it looked like, y'all, I don't want to say, it looked like movie props to me. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Lauren. The girl to me does not look like she had this major surgery from head to toe. There's not even a scar under her damn chin. There's like nothing on her to, I don't know, y'all. I've never been through surgery like that, so I don't know. I'm probably, speaking, out of pocket. But even when she was in her recovery, she doesn't look like the way I've seen other people look who have been through, like a 360 BBL or whatever the hell they call it. She doesn't, anyway, I don't know. So let's just say this, she's over her recovery. She looks the same to me. I never thought there was anything wrong with her to begin with. She still looks very small. She still looks very cute. She doesn't look any different than the way she did before. So she's out there looking for her damn dress. The first dress that she tries on, which was like this pink dress, she didn't like how her body looked in it. So she says that she is still having issues with how she looks. And she said that I thought that having surgery would help me get over my body dysmorphia. Girl, surgery, that's why I don't think she's got body dysmorphia. I don't think she really has that. Surgery is not going to fix your body dysmorphia. What fixes your body dysmorphia, because it's a mental health type of thing, is therapy. Okay, you need to go to therapy. If you really think that you have that, if you really do have it, you need to go to therapy, Lauren. Having a bunch of surgery is going to just turn you into the cat lady of New York. You don't need more surgery. You need therapy to be able to accept your. Look, Lauren, look. You are still expecting to look the way you look before having three babies back to back. Okay, your body barely recovered from baby number one when you're already pregnant with baby number two, barely recovered from that. Then you're pregnant with baby number three. Your children are very little. They look like they're three and under. Your children are very small and you have them very close together. Your body will not go back to the way it was when you first met Alex, however many years ago that was, when you were super, super, super slim, super tiny. It's not going to happen. It's not, you just have to accept that it's not going to happen. But you also have to accept, Lauren, that you still look good. Okay, you look good than a majority of women, some of them who've never had children. You look better than the majority of women who've had children. So just, accept that you really, truly look a lot better than a lot of women out here. So I don't understand what the hell's going on. But anyway, so it's time for the date night. And the first time she comes out after getting ready at the apartment, she walks out in her leopard print dress. And Alex thought she looked beautiful. He liked what he saw. And she even said, well, I hope he likes what he sees. But if you're doing this for yourself, as you've been claiming this whole entire time, that this is for me, this is from, because, Alex didn't want you to get surgery. He didn't want you to do it to begin with. And you kept on telling him, in order to sell him on this whole surgery thing, you told him, this is for me. I got to do this for me. I need this for my own mental health. This is for me to feel better about myself. So why are you worried about what he thinks? Whether he likes it or he doesn't like it, it shouldn't matter. But we all know that we want our husbands to, approve of how we look or to still be attracted to us. So, girl, I get it. So he says she looked really good. She says that she has no regrets about her surgery. Lauren says that, okay, so they're sitting at dinner now. They're sitting at dinner at the restaurant. And she says that she spent a lot of years or whatever being pregnant, giving birth to babies. And now that she's done with all of that, she says she's ready to go back into the workforce. And that is something that Alex did not want to hear. So her exact words were, she had dedicated so much of her life to raising babies. And I'm like, girl, you're literally still raising babies. You're not done raising your children. They're still babies. But I get it. She wants to go back into the workforce. So she wants to restart her career in, what does she say? Marketing and advertising or something to that effect. Alex says, well, this wasn't our agreement, because remember, before we had kids, we talked about it. You said that you wanted to be a wife, wanted to be a mother, and that was going to be your priority. And then she said, but I'd never said I never wanted to work again. Well, Alex seems to remember things differently. I don't know what was said, if that was ever televised. I don't remember. I didn't watch. I don't know if there was like an agreement between them that she was going to be a stay-at-home mom. I really don't remember. So Alex was like, well, that wasn't what we discussed. It's not what we agreed to. So she said something about how she wanted him to be her cheerleader. And he said, there's no man with any type of manhood, or whatever he said. There's no man with any type of, a sense of manhood would want to be his wife's cheerleader. And I didn't know exactly what he meant by that, but that did not come out right, Alex. You should want to be your wife's cheerleader. You should want to encourage your wife into pursuing whatever she wants to pursue to make her happy. But at the same time, Lauren, if you had made this agreement with this man that you wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and, make your wife, your husband and your kids your priority and not go back to work, while I still think that you should be able to change your mind and pursue whatever the hell you want to pursue, I also understand him being a little bit confused because he thought that he had a stay-at-home wife who was going to dedicate her life to raising these children until they're grown. So I don't know what's going on here. Like I said, I wasn't privy to any conversations that they had before they had babies on whether or not she's going to be a stay-at-home mom until these kids were raised. So there must be some type of miscommunication or misunderstanding between them, because I hope that she's not one of those people that will say whatever to get what she wants. Like, if she knew that Alex was the type of man that wanted a traditional wife to stay home and raise the children until they were grown and to cater to him, if she knew that this was the kind of man that he was, and she felt like, well, I'm just going to tell him what he wants to hear to get him because I want this man. And then all of a sudden, after she gets him, she does an old switcheroo, and all of a sudden she wants to be Miss Career Woman. Miss, I can do it all. I can be a mom, a wife, and hold on a career. Then I hope that's not the case, Lauren. I really hope that that's not what you did. If you're the kind of person that says in the beginning, hey, I'm going to stay home, you better believe that man's going to remember those words. So, like I said, I don't really know what was discussed back then. If there was a misunderstanding, or if she had never said that she wanted to stay home forever and he's just pressuring her to do that because that's what he wants, or if she really did say to him, yes, I don't have a problem staying home and raising our kids until they're grown. I'm going to put, my own desires to the side of having a career so I can stay home and take care of these kids until they become adults. So I don't know what to say about that. I really don't know what to say, but I don't know. I really don't know, because I never really thought that Alex was that type of man who was like, no, you're going to stay at home barefoot and pregnant and take care of these kids and cater to me. I just didn't think he was that way, but what do I know? Moving on to Patrick and Thais. So it's date night for them as well. So they're out at the restaurant and they're talking about their dads and how different their dads are. And, Thais says something about, my dad, He's not like your dad, making all these demands on me, wanting so much from me. And then Patrick says, well, at least my dad gives us a lot of stuff. I don't know what he said. Something about how his dad is very giving to them, but Thais's dad isn't, because he was like, what has your dad ever done for us? So while they're on this same thread of fathers, Thais brings up how Patrick's father is taking advantage of him, is using him for all this free labor, using him for the money that they're paying into this apartment. And Patrick says, well, my dad isn't like your dad. I didn't grow up with him like the way you grew up with yours. So he talks about when he came to Brazil, his priority when he came to Brazil wasn't to find a woman or to be with Thais. His priority when he came to Brazil was to reconnect with his dad. And he starts to cry. He starts to literally cry. And he talks about how when he was growing up, his father wasn't around. Once his parents divorced, he would see his dad like maybe once or twice a year. His dad was a truck driver, so whenever his route led him to wherever Patrick was living, that's when he would see his dad. And then after that, he wouldn't see his dad for like a whole nother year. And so that really affected him, not having his dad around as he was growing up. And so him allowing like him dealing with this apartment that Thais really wants him to get rid of because she thinks it's just a money pit. Him still wanting to hold on to the apartment because he's connecting with his dad through this apartment. He's not going to let that go. And it's sad to think that if he were to let go of the apartment, that would also affect his relationship with his dad. It seems like Patrick is afraid that if he gets rid of the apartment, he's going to get rid of his dad. Like all of a sudden, him and his dad are not going to have any reason to communicate. It's really sad. So he says, I need you to understand that it's worth the money to me to pay into this apartment if it means keeping my dad. But I don't think his dad sees the sentimentality of this apartment, what this apartment means to Patrick. I don't think his dad sees that. I think his dad really just sees this as just a way for him to make money. I don't think the dad sees things the way that Patrick sees things. I don't think that he understands. I don't think his father understands how his absence affected him. I don't think his father understands how desperate Patrick is to reconnect with his dad, and that he is still that little boy chasing his father, trying to bring his father back into his life. Feeling like it's his responsibility, that it's his job to mend this relationship, which is probably that's how he felt as a kid. Like he had to be the one to do something to keep his dad around, to keep this relationship going. I don't know, but Patrick also needs therapy. Okay, he needs to get in line right there with Lauren and in the therapy line because he also needs therapy. He also needs to understand and talk about these feelings that he's having, and that allowing your dad to take advantage of you, he needs to first understand that his dad is taking advantage of him, and that that's not worth keeping this relationship. Being taken advantage of by your father is not justifiable in maintaining a relationship with him. So then they talk about this trip. So they're on vacation. Now they're going to take a vacation from their vacation, and they're going to go on this trip. And Thais says, oh, well, I want my dad to come on this trip too, because I need you. Here we go, y'all. I need you to ask for his blessing. So she's still harping on this whole damn blessing thing. Even though they're married and they got a kid, she still needs him to ask her father for his blessing. So he's like, whatever, girl, I'm going to ask for the goddamn blessing. So then he does a Uno reverse on her and says, well, if your father's going to come on this trip, then my brother John is also going to come on this trip, because I want you to try to get to know John and to try to mend your relationship with my brother. So after he said yes to her dad, how can she say no to his brother? So that's going to be quite interesting. Moving on to Rob and Sophie. Sophie has moved out, but she claims it's only temporary, trying to get herself try to get herself together and think about what her next move is going to be in her marriage. So she's living with her friend Kay. So for his birthday, Rob decides to take a trip to his hometown of Kansas City. And he says it feels really strange to not be with his wife on his birthday, but that's the decision that she made, and all he can do is respect it. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, Rob, you have money to go to Kansas City, get your hotel, to go club and hang out with your friends in Kansas City, but you didn't have money to feed your wife, and y'all were fighting over Nutri-Grain bars. Like, what? So he meets up with his mom when he arrives in Kansas City. We see his mom, and he talks about how different his mom is from Sophie's mom. And like Sophie's mom doesn't give anybody a chance to repair their reputation. Like if she's written you off, she's written you off, and she's not going to give you a second chance. Whereas his mom is willing to give people second chances, and she's willing to get to know people all over again. The mom tells Rob how the mother tells us in her own confessional that Rob has been through a lot growing up. I guess, they probably didn't have a lot of money, and his father probably wasn't around, and she was with, I don't know, different relationships and whatever else. So Rob had gone through a lot growing up, and so it really hurts her to see that he's going through these issues with his own wife. Now, Rob did also tell us that because his mom was in and out of relationships, he never wanted that for himself. He wanted to have a steady relationship. Like once he got married, he wanted to stay married. He didn't want to get a divorce and, go from woman to woman, wife to wife when it came to that time in his life where he really wanted to settle down. So that's the reason why he claims he's still holding on to this marriage to Sophie, because he didn't want to repeat the same pattern that his mom had. So they go out to, no, we also find out that when they go out to lunch together, the mom tells Rob that she was a big supporter of his relationship with Sophie. But now that they're separated and Rob is hurt, it hurts her that this woman has hurt her son. So, yeah. Then later on, we see Sophie with her friend Kay. They're getting ready to go out. They're getting ready to hit the town. And Sophie is talking about how weird it is for her to not be with Rob on his birthday. So Kay asked her, how does she feel about Rob being in Kansas City, hanging out with his friends, going clubbing with his friends? And she says, well, when he lived in Kansas City, he was a big old hoe. He was a hoe in Kansas City. So I guess she's kind of worried about that, but she's going to put that to the side and just have a good time with her girl Kay. Okay, fine. So then we see Rob in Kansas City. He's at a club with his homeboys. So they're sitting in I guess, the VIP section. I don't know. And the bottle girls are putting pressure on Rob hard. Okay, so he's sitting in between two bottle girls, and they're both like putting pressure on him. One of them more so than the other. One of them, she was like giving him the green light. Like, if you want it, you can have it. Okay, I'm gonna give it to you on a silver platter. You can take it home with you, do whatever you want to do with it. She was really on him bad. But it seemed like Rob was resisting. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. It seemed like he really wasn't that interested. And maybe not so much because he's with Sophie, but maybe just wasn't interested in her. I don't know. But, Rob was, I guess, or maybe because the cameras were there, he was trying to, play it cool. And maybe something went down in the champagne room after the camera crew left. I don't know. Moving on to Manuel and Ashley. So they're still arguing about Manuel sending money back home to Ecuador. When they went on their trip to New York City to meet his relative, Jonathan had told Ashley that when they were on that trip, him and Manuel had gone somewhere for him to send money back to Ecuador. So Ashley was upset about that because she didn't know. So they're arguing about whether or not he actually sent money while they were in New York City behind her back. And they're also arguing about the fact that he never told her that he was still communicating with the mother of his children. So Ashley's asking him, did you send money when we were in New York? And he says, no, I did not send money. How could I send money? Because you took my card. And sure enough, there was that scene where he had asked her, can I have my bank card? And she wouldn't give it to him. So he was like, how could I have sent money and you took my car? Well, he still could have done it because he could have borrowed money from Jonathan or somebody else and then promised to pay them back. He still could have gotten the money from somewhere, but he claims he didn't send any money while they were in New York. Then the issue of whether or not he's talking to his children's mother. So she asked him point blank, are you still talking to her? He finally admitted that he was. He said, yes, I am. Her thing is, I don't care if he's talking to the mother of his children because they got kids together. I don't have an issue with that. My issue is, why does he have to lie about it? It's so unnecessary to lie about it. Of course, I would expect him to still communicate with the mother of his children, obviously, because they got kids together and he's supporting his children, so they have to talk. I'm just upset that he never told me about it. So they're arguing about that. The argument gets so heated that he threatens to leave. He's like, well, I'm gonna just get out of here. And she's like, bye, ciao. And he actually walks out of the house, and we see him walking by his lonely self in the dark down the sidewalk. Side note, I don't know why, but Ashley's sister really reminds me of one of those Bailey sisters. Is it Chloe? I don't know their names. Chloe and the other, not the one that's like the one that was in the color purple and who was the Little Mermaid. She really reminds me of that Bailey sister who was in the Little Mermaid. Okay, let's keep this train rolling. Unfortunately, now we have to talk about Jasmine and Gino. So they're back in Miami, Florida for the pageant. And it's showtime, y'all. The pageant is here. It is going on, and boom. So Jasmine, the first competition is, first of all, when this episode started, it started with Gino and Jasmine, right? They're in their hotel room. She has on her bathing suit. She talks about some inappropriate stuff, which I'm not going to repeat, but the real pervert in this relationship to me is Jasmine. Because anytime anything inappropriate comes up in conversation, Jasmine's the one that brings it up. And then she gets mad at Gino because she's accusing him of doing perverted things, but she's the one that is talking extensively about these perverted things. Gino's just like, I'm not doing that. I didn't do that. I'm not like that. And she's the one that's explicitly talking about these anyways, to me, she's a real pervert in the relationship. So the swimsuit competition begins, and she does her thing on stage. And after that, they go back to the hotel room because she has to get ready for the next round of competitions. And Gino tells her, you did okay, but you could have really improved your walk and your posture when you were on stage. And she's not trying to hear any of that. He's just trying to give her some honest feedback. And Jasmine takes it real personal, and then she uninvites him to the next rehearsal. And she tells him, I don't want you to be my coach anymore. I just want you to be my husband. And, just be quiet. Go sit in the corner, watch the show, and shut the hell up, and don't give me any more feedback. So he was kind of hurt by this, but I don't, knowing how Jasmine is, I just don't understand how Gino has the guts and the courage to tell her that she didn't do that great. And he gave her a 4 out of 10. He scored her a 4 out of 10 with her performance on stage and how she walked. To me, she is very artificial on stage. Some people just have it to do these type of things. Like I said, the people that she's competing with are people that some of them have probably been doing this since they came out of their mother's womb. Okay. Pageant is their lifestyle. It's what they live, what they breathe. It's everything to them. She's just starting this at the age of 35, 36. Her very first pageant. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing on that damn stage. And what also is bothering me about Jasmine is that, I mean, the kind of plastic surgery that she has is the kind that probably looks better when it's covered up. Like the fact that her butt is so exposed in that bathing suit, I think is absolutely doing her no justice at all. To me, it looks misshapen. It doesn't look natural at all. Her breasts to me look very, very stiff. I don't know. I don't know. And then, she's lost so much weight that to me her face kind of looks a little gaunt. Um and then she's got those overinflated lips. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know. But she says she's doing this to help her confidence, and child, I don't know. Moving on to Emily and Kobe. Nothing much to say there. So we're still at their wedding. Kobe's best friend Valerie shows up at the wedding. Emily and Kobe were shaking in their boots when they saw Valerie walk in because they thought that Valerie was going to act a damn fool and say a whole bunch of negative things and how much he dislikes Emily and talk about the relationship not being a good one because a Cameroon man went to China to find a white woman. And so they're really preparing. They're bracing themselves for Valerie's speech. But like I said last week, Valerie was not going to say anything out of pocket. So he got up, he said his speech, and he was basically very supportive of their relationship. Whatever. He said a whole bunch of glowing things about the relationship. Basically, we all know it's fake as hell, but he wasn't going to act crazy. So, he said whatever he said. It made Emily and Kobe happy, and that was the whole purpose of it all. Later on, I think it's the day that they're supposed to leave Cameroon, and they brought some clothes for Kobe's dad for him to look more like an American dad. And, that was a cute little moment. And yeah, there's nothing much to say about that. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.